Tahlai, again, thank you for doing this at 1:25 a.m. Monday morning in Sweden. So I appreciate that. So what is the highlight for you over the past 7 days?
Oh, thank you, Getachew. I'm getting used to it now, so it's all right. What I think I have made it a habit now to start by saying a few words about the condition of Tigrayans in what they call IDP centers, but I prefer to call them concentration camps, very, very squalid concentration camps. And I would like to mention a report that was done by the BBC 3 days ago in a concentration camp in Shire. And the word that the BBC used to describe the situation there is dire. The people there in the concentration camp in extremely dire economic situation. They interview a woman who has her son killed in the war by Eritrean forces, and she's now staying in the IDP center or in the concentration camp with her other children, and she doesn't have anything to eat. They do receive some ration, but it's extremely limited. It's hardly enough for survival, and she's not an outlier. That is your average case. That is your average life condition in IDP centers in Tigray. That particular report is from Shire, but generally that is the condition that people in IDP centers are in Tigray. And this matters because the narrative that the Ethiopian government is trying to push is that everything has returned to normal. That IDP people who used to stay in IDP in Tigray have now returned to their homes to Western Tigray. That is the narrative that is being pushed. And maybe Getachew will mention later Abiy's speech at the parliament, but that is one of the points that he made. He said that people have started to return to their homes. Well, actually, he said that the vast majority of people have already returned, and that is a categorical lie. And I think it was 2 days ago that the Secretary of State of the United States of America, Antony Blinken, spoke to Abiy Ahmed on the phone about the implementation of the Pretoria Agreement. And from the readout from the U.S. government, one of the points Antony Blinken made is that the progress has been commendable. The progress in terms of the implementation of the agreement, when in fact not, except for what they call silencing the guns, nothing has been implemented. Western Tigray continues to be occupied by Eritrean and Amhara forces. Europe remains to be under the occupation of Eritrean forces. Southern Tigray remains to be under the occupation of Amharas, and people are in the condition that I just described. But despite these very, very glaring factors, very, very ugly factors, we are being told to believe that everything has improved and everything is on the verge of being solved. And that is a lie. And honest people should understand that the suffering in Tigray continues. Nothing has changed for the most part. So that would be the first point. And I'm trying to emphasize the point because of the barrage of lies that we are being told from the US State Department and from the Ethiopian regime. And I think the other point that I should highlight, I had a lot of other points that I wanted to highlight, but Faisal and SKL has done the job for me. So I will just mention one point, which is that the ICG, International Crisis Group, has issued a lengthy report and essentially an assessment of what is happening in Ethiopia. They give a background to the war in Amhara. They give a background to the war in Oromia. They are like SKL hopeful that something could be maybe forthcoming in Tanzania in terms of the negotiation that is happening between the OLA and the Ethiopian regime. Although I have been hearing from very, very reliable sources that it doesn't look like there is anything promising. I think they have some irreconcilable differences, the Ethiopian regime and the OLA. Maybe, again, SKL will add more information into that. But my understanding is that the OLA, one of the demands that the OLA has is that there should be a transitional government in Oromia. And the Ethiopian regime seems to be completely against that, and that has got in the way. And it doesn't look like that there's going to be any agreement, but maybe they will listen to the powerful plea that Ezekiel had just made. And the other point that I should mention now is the fiasco involving the African Development Bank and the Ethiopian regime. And it was a joke. What has happened? So what happened was that Ethiopia was due to pay the bank its annual sort of contribution, and essentially the Ethiopian officials trying to scam the bank, and the bank was of course not to be taken for full, and some sort of disagreement ensued, and the Ethiopian regime officials tried to harass and actually beat up two officials from the African Development Bank. And that is very, very ironic, because the president of the bank is a very, very close ally of Abiy Ahmed and also of Isaias Afwerki, actually. And for his staffers in Addis Ababa to be harassed like that is extraordinary in that sense. And I think that is enough for now.